Welcome back, guys, to the Hassle of Hair, episode 124. If you guys are new to us, this podcast, it's about inspirational people, about people going after their passions in life. Me and my wife both quit our jobs to go after our passions. And we're kind of showing our story, our journey, and also interviewing people along the way. Today I have a guest, George Harris. It's funny, I found this guy through listening to podcasts. He made a bet with Brendan Schaub of King and the Sting. I think it's called King and the Sting plus the Wing with Chris D'Elia, Theo Vaughn, and Brendan Schaub. But George, he submitted a video for a segment, and he was on a hospital bed, just had surgery to make his stomach smaller, and he ended up making a bet with Brendan Schaub to lose 200 pounds. And if he lost the 200 pounds, he would fly George to LA to one of his shows and wrestle Stevie Weeby, on one of the characters on the podcast. And George was on the podcast before on the Hassle of Hair, and he talked about it. But now he comes on to tell us even more great news in his journey, right? And this is a kid that is 22, and you'll hear in the interview how it's like all of a sudden he's just vibing out, like everything's going good for him right now. And it started from weight loss, and it's a story of an underdog, and I love it. And I hope you guys enjoy. But before we get into the interview, please subscribe if you're watching YouTube, or even if you're listening, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Hassle of Hair. Follow us on Instagram, The Hassle of Hair, Jesse the Hassle Diaz, or my wife's Don't Hassle Me, at Don't Hassle Me on Instagram. We have 18 reviews on Apple Podcast. Please go put a review, bad or good. I just want to know how we're doing, right? And I do this for a hobby, kind of just do this. I don't really do this to make money or to, I don't do this for an income. I do it more just because I love connecting with people. But I do want to know how we're doing. I do want progression. I do want to grow. We're at 260 subscribers on YouTube. I would love to have 1,000 by the end of the year. You know, I'd love that. And just do us a favor, if you want to support the podcast, go subscribe to us. Also, comment down below if you want a guest on that I should have on that's local, if you're from Los Baños, or if you know somebody that's inspirational. Comment below, tell me who I should have. And I don't know, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Afterwards, you'll hear me ranting and talking, so if you want to stick around for that too. I love you guys. Enjoy the episode. Thank you, George, if you're listening. Thank you, George, for doing the podcast. I appreciate you, man. And enjoy the episode, guys. Peace. How you doing, George?
Oh, I'm living the life, Bubba.
so I don't know. Since I last talked to you, I started doing security at a bar on some weekends. Oh. Yeah. And
how's that going?
It's actually funner than it's fun because it's complete chaos.
Yeah.
Like when I first started doing it, I didn't expect to, cause I'm a pretty chill dude. Like I don't really yell at people. I hardly even yell at my daughter.
Yeah.
But you get there and you're like telling people, all right, you're going to have to move for the walkway. You're going to have to move a little bit. You're talking to them. Everybody's sober. And then by like 1 o'clock, you're just yelling at people because it's like taking care of kids. They're all drunk.
I've done like 1 or 2 nights as bar security, but nothing like long term. It's it's interesting. This you get to see like you get to see the local drunks that are like there every night, just like vibing around, and then you see like the rowdy kids that are out for like their weekend, and half of them probably look underage, and I'm like looking at their ID, like, yeah, that's your face.
And like I barely found out that there's bar regulars. I didn't know that people go to the bar every night, like your local
Yeah,
regulars. That's crazy.
that it's interesting.
And you used to bounce when you were bigger?
No, only like during the weight loss. Like I just am a wide guy with tattoos. So they're like, yeah, that works.
Yeah. Did you have to kick anybody out?
No, but there's a lot of people that would like come up to me drunk and they'd be like, what would you do if I got in your face? And I'm like, what? I don't know. What do you want from me, man? You want me to put you in a headlock? You want me to rough you up?
And there's you have some more news this time that I talked to you. So George is on a weight loss journey, and through that weight loss journey, he's been on King and the Sting a few times, and been to live shows of Brendan Schaub, a comedian, ex fighter, and now you had just posted that you some other stuff too, right?
Yeah, I'm officially May 1st through July 31st. I'm doing an internship with Thick Boy Studios to learn all the ins and outs of podcasting and everything else that we do that we love.
That's awesome. And how excited are you, and how scared are you?
I I'm excited for my life. I feel like this is one of the biggest opportunities I've had, at least for like career wise, because I'm 22, about to be 23 in May. So like when I think about what I want to do for the rest of my life, it's like, oh, have fun, again, let's party. But like this is something I can actually wake up and put my effort towards and be proud of it. You know what I mean? Like it's actually something that I enjoy every day. I love podcasts. Like I watch them every day. Again, I got to be on my favorite one, and now I've been gifted this opportunity to learn the ins and outs from basically my podcasting icons and heroes. It's crazy.
That's dope. And you like I'm before I had just had you on, I work with this guy every Sunday, and he comes to the gym that I work at, Strike Fitness, and he deals with a little bit of confidence and a confidence issue. And even just talking to you for the first like 2 minutes that I've been talking to you, you sound way more confident. Like you
Yeah,
sound like you sound like you found yourself a little bit. Like through going through all this, like was there a change of confidence? You going to the live shows, you going to the studio, you finding out that you're gonna be an intern. It's scary, but you sound like you're just changing.
I've always been very bright and positive. I've always tried to be. Nobody likes a sad fat guy. Again, yeah, I've always looked up on the world. It's just I finally feel like there's some wind under my sails. I
Yeah.
feel like I've been in an ocean just blowing into my own sail, but I finally have this wind current that is just helping. Like it seems like the more energy I put into the universe of trying to be positive, it has started to reward me in different ways. You know what I
I a hundred
like?
percent.
I don't know if it's holy or God or everyone believes in their own thing, but I do feel like in like a karma kind of way, I've just tried very hard to be positive and a bright light, and I feel like the world is showing me some love.
Yeah, I get I get the positivity thing, and you're attracting things better to you. Uh, I always deal with this thing. I even was talking to my wife about it, about if it's if it's karma, if it's luck, if there's a higher being, uh, it's something. But we forget to say like, no, we're hardworking. Like
Yeah.
you're only getting these chances, and even the small chances that you're getting where you live now, like it's because you're hardworking. It's not. I mean, it's because you have a positive attitude and you are hardworking. I wouldn't take that away from yourself because I do the same thing to myself. I'm like, oh, it's because I'm positive and I I have good karma. I forget that we sometimes forget that we work our butts off.
Yeah. Uh, it's hard to humble yourself and praise yourself at the same time. Like, I mean, I lost to Stevie Weeby in a wrestling match, so I'm pretty humbled. I got that nasty, I got taken down hard.
Yeah.
But I freaking yeah, it's weird. It's like it's kind of like not survivor's guilt, but like I don't know. I don't feel any special. I don't feel nothing. I'm George. I
Yeah.
feel like everyone is themselves and just working.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, I hope other people can have that same drive that I have. I
So
really do.
what what are you gonna you okay?
Yeah, my father walked in.
Wait, so what's the plan? Like, are you just packing things up and taking off? Like, are you? I know you took your mom to the last show. Like,
Hmm.
so how's everything going? Are you just gonna change your whole entire life? What's going on?
So yeah, basically, I am very much a family man at home. I take care. My father's disabled, so I take care of him. But I have her coming in to help more when I leave. I babysit her kids when I'm not taking care of I spend my whole life working out and taking care of my family.
Yeah.
Every day it's the same old, same old. But I I feel like I've put so much effort and work in that I deserve some part. Like I deserve something for me.
Yeah.
I feel like, and as selfish as I feel not being here for my family, I am just I'm more excited for the opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm packing up not all of my stuff because it's still an internship. So hypothetically, if it doesn't work out, it's always okay. I can come back, take care of my family. But yeah, I'm driving from about Chicago all the way to LA.
That's the one thing I found crazy is that you're driving. That's an
Yeah,
experience in itself. Like it's from Chicago to California. Like it's like
I plan on vlogging it, and that's gonna like be like a little thing to help me learn editing. I can
yeah.
make my own little vlog with it. And I'm not exactly taking Route 66, but I'm taking like adjacent highways to it because I want to make it there in a reasonable time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the same path. And I'm doing trucker rules. I'm not driving over 8 hours a day because I don't want to die. So I'm just like I'm just taking 4 days, 8 hour trips each day, get to
Yeah.
relax a little bit.
And how I know you're on a strict diet. How's your diet gonna? How you plan on doing that diet?
I am at least I'm gonna pack up on some good protein stuff, like protein, shakes and bars and stuff to try to help. But yeah, I just gotta find something. I'm down to 190 pounds right now, so like I don't know. I'm just vibing.
I know you're living, man. You're living. It's I don't, like we're I didn't when I was 22, around your age, and this is gonna like we're not. I'm not similar. Your stories I are similar in the way like at 22, that's when my life started to change, right? And when I was 22, that's when I started to get the ball rolling, right? And everything started to change. And I had some trauma in my past, and it felt like I was stuck. And now at that age, they started just rolling, and things just started going like they progress and progress and progress. And I'm excited for you, man. Like you're getting out of your comfort zone, and you're leaving the nest.
Yeah. I'm not in Kansas anymore.
No, no, hell yeah, hell yeah. This is dope, man. I love that I get to have it documented of like you before and then you next, and then like finally at the end, like he's like success, you know, like, and a success is just doing it right, like going out there and trying and giving it your
Every,
all.
every day I wake up, I feel successful. I spent way too long in life hating where I was and not realizing that this is what it is. This is life. And then when I finally realized it, I said, oh, I got to wake up tomorrow. Every day I got to wake up tomorrow until I don't. So I got to fucking start busting my ass or ain't nothing going to happen.
And what's the when you get to LA, like, are you single, George? I never even
Yeah,
asked you.
I'm single.
Yeah. What's the dating scene for you? Do you want it? Do you want to come out here and just date a bunch of chicks, or?
I mean, I'm not trying to get no baby mamas right now, but like I really plan on every single day waking up and working. Like I
Yeah.
want to put like I feel like this is the closest thing I've done to going to college. So I might as well fucking pump all my energy into learning. And I do have some ideas of like, there's always like there's different people around LA that I've communicated with now just from outreach from the podcast and stuff and different people I could work with, but I don't really see nothing in the dating scene. I'm trying to think of everything in a lucrative way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to like. I'm really trying. They're really preaching with this internship of building myself up as long, like also with working with Thick Boy, so
Yeah.
that it's not just me pumping all my energy into them. They want me to succeed as well, which I think like they're really looking out for me with this opportunity. Like, it's really nice of them.
Yeah, 100%. Like this is I mean, this is the new kind of like the new college, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm even like I'm even debating. I want my daughter to go to school and go to college and play. I want her to play sports and I want her to do all that. But in my head, I'm like, it's either I'm paying for it or because I don't want her taking out loans. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a waste of money. Like on my part, it is kind of like she could do everything that she's learning over there, unless it's like an engineering or even engineering degrees.
It's really just the opportunities that she gets opened up to.
Yeah, it's crazy because my buddy, his dad's an engineer, came from Mexico, opened up his own electrician company, huge out here in Central Valley, and didn't have a degree. And then I think he's been in the game for like almost 30 years, and they gave him an honorary electrician's engineering degree or something like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he never went to school. He just did it. Like it was trial and error. He hands on learning, you know. And that's what you're gonna basically do. Hands on, go out there and learn.
Yeah. And I think that's really, depending on who you are, it's the best way. Because, like, not everyone is made for, like, I know that sounds stereotypical, but not everyone's made for a fucking classroom sitting there. Like, everyone has their own unique ways. And as long as they have the drive and effort to do it, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a computer whiz, but when they sent me different stuff to try to learn how to do, I sat there on a computer until I learned it. That, like, if you're going to allow me this wonderful opportunity, I'm going to put forth the effort that you guys deserve, and I deserve to put myself.
Yeah. It's funny because I also teach the kids program at the gym I work at, and parents are always like, why isn't my kid learning? Why is that kid progressing faster than my child? Why can't they do this or why? And I try to I put it on myself as a coach, as a teacher. I put it on myself to get them better, but at the same time, there's something that sticks with these kids, or that it's different from these kids. They have a love for it. They have a passion for it. They want to learn.
Yeah.
Some kids just come in here into the gym not wanting to learn, so they progress slower. And when you love something, you're gonna do whatever you can to do to learn it, right? Like I'm not a computer whiz. I can't. I had to learn all this audio stuff, which is in my head, it's not that hard. And then I go back and look at how much I had to learn, and it's a lot, man.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever been part of a team?
No. I mean, I did theater in high school, so it's like the losers team. Yeah, we still got audition for it, but I just sung and danced. But besides that, I never did any sports or any, like, all of my love of, like, combat sports and everything. My dad really brought that into me as a child, but like growing up and when I started to see my dad start to decline, like I really grasped onto that as something that we had between us. And when my brother was alive, when I was really young, I was into it, watching it with him, with Chuck Liddell and all the old heads and GSP. But like this, like all of my love for this kind of stuff stemmed after I was a child, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or into my teenager years.
And does having the Thick Boy team, like helping you out and just them being around you, is that something that's inspiring you?
It really is. Like the amount of like, I'm game for anything. I'm 22. Like I'm down to go sleep in my car and fucking put in some computer time. Any opportunity I'm given, I'm willing to accept. I don't mind grinding through the mud, as I've proved throughout my life. I just don't care. But they have really, like, they have made it a point from the beginning to make okay. And when I saw that, I realized that this was a little more than like just a good chance for me. Like I'm going out there surrounded by people that I'm already friends with, that I already have met multiple times. I'm going to be living with them, so I'm not going to be flat out on. They are really looking out for me. And that is probably where most of my confidence for this is stemming from. Like, if they just were like, yeah, show up, I guess, I don't know, it would be a lot more scary. But they have really, I don't know, they just are good people, like genuine good people.
It takes a tribe, it takes a team. And that's cool. That's really cool. And what's the craziest thing since you've gone through all this? You were on King of the Sting and you lost the weight, and them kind of showing your story of what you're doing. Like, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you that we haven't heard about? Like a fan approaching you? Like, what's the craziest thing? Yeah.
I've been recognized in my hometown a few times of just like, I'll be at the vape store and somebody will come up to me and be like, "Are you George?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm George. What's that?" And they're like, "From the podcast?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I was on a podcast."
So you don't even realize they're telling you because of the podcast. You just think they know you from somewhere else.
Well, especially in my hometown, since I really don't look. I look similar to Fat George, but I look like a different human. I'm take up half the space. Yeah. So a lot of people will come up to me and like make eye contact with me and just not know who I am. And I'm like, "What's up, bro?" And they're like, "George?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." They're like, "Where'd you go?" I'm like,
yeah. That's awesome.
So and then even when I took my mom to the show, my mom got to see everybody like come up to me and shake my hand, and my mom leaned in and she's like, "How do they know you?" And I'm like, this is real, Mom. This isn't the internet. This is like, they know me from the podcast.
Yeah.
So that seeing my mom see how real it was, and then she got to talk to all the fans and just boast about her son, and it was just it made me feel like it was more real than not. It's hard to smell the roses, and you get thousands of people think like, "Oh, congratulations," but like when I don't know, it was more special to see my mom enjoy it for me. So that was really cool.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing because I don't know if I don't know if it's the older generation that they don't see what the internet actually is and what it can do and who it could bring together. It's not just this crazy news, like it's
Yeah.
like my grandma's go on the internet and then they call me about like a day later. It's like, did you see what's happening over here? There's still like COVID's still spreading like crazy.
We got triple mask on.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. No, so it's do you see yourself staying in California? Is that what you want to do? Do you even like California? I didn't even ask you that.
It's okay. I mean, downtown LA, I don't like that. It seems very superficial. Anywhere outside of the fake, Hollywood, Ventura Boulevard, anywhere outside of that seems very nice. Like if you
Yeah.
get to the desert part instead of the big square in the middle of the desert, if you go out towards the desert part, it gets nice.
Yeah.
The big fake square in the middle of the desert, I don't like that one so much. But
And
I mean, there's good people out there. It's just every like everyone as a whole, it just seems moving by itself, and I just feel like an organism not going with the flow.
yeah. And do you have to deal with homeless people from where you live? Like LA? LA's a
Not like
different animal. Yeah.
if I go up to Chicago, yeah, it gets a little worse. But I live like an hour outside of the city, so like we just get like a couple people at the bus stop signs and stuff that have like nice shoes on, shaking cans. They go get back in their car and drive away.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. There are some like if you go to more of the fucking hood areas, it does get bad, but it's still nothing like the city. There's no camps set up.
Dude,
There's no camping towns.
it's crazy because I took my daughter and a friend of hers to LA. Like I've told you, I live about like 3.5 hours from LA, and we take trips
Mhm.
over there sometimes. And I believe my wife calls it the alleys. It's like a flea market basically. It's fashion district. There you go. It's fashion district.
Okay.
And we saw somebody. This is how I knew it was different kind of homeless people. We saw someone just on the side of the road, pants down, just taking a shit. It was I
Uh,
heard, I hear people talk about it, but it was insane to finally see it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's happening. I'm finally seeing a homeless person take a shit on the side of the road. It's
I've
crazy,
seen
man.
I've seen somebody take a dump right in like a flower pot, like a public flower pot, but it
Yeah.
wasn't just like straight on the ground. They at least sat on the flower pot. They had like a little newspaper, a free newspaper.
it's it's free fertilizer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, no, but man, I hope you're able to come down to LB one of these days. I know we talked about it.
That-
That'd be dope. Like we'll get you on some pads, hitting pads and stuff.
Heck yeah.
So what's gonna be like your last week at your family's house, at your parents' house? Like what's the last week? What do you got planned for the last week? Telling everybody bye.
Um, I at least like because I have 9 nieces and nephews, so I want to get my siblings and all of them at one dinner. Try to manage that somehow. I'm not good at planning things. I'm really not. I'm like I'm like, hey, I got this great idea. I want to see everyone. In one spot for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just plan to take at least like 3 or 4 days off of working out and just dedicate it to go see my grandma and grandpa in town and like make sure I just sit and spend time with all my loved ones because like I don't know, I'm not a very like sentimental like I don't need like a big party, but I do want like one heartfelt moment. Like that's all I need. Like one handshake, one hug. I don't need a
Yeah.
big hoopla. I just need like a genuine moment.
It's awesome. And George,
Uh,
if you could see yourself in 10 years, like how do you see yourself in 10 years? Like what's your dream of George in 10 years? What's he going to be doing?
um, I would like to. I don't know. I'd still like to be going with the flow. I want to fucking. I don't know. There's tons of things.
Yeah.
Anything that I'm dipping my toe in, I want it to just skyrocket. If I continue just being behind the scenes for podcasting, then I want to be the next Jamie for fucking Joe Rogan, you know? I want to be the best.
Yeah.
If I'm in front of the screen, I want to have my group of dedicated fans that can come to me. I don't need a billion of them. I just want a community of sweet people and kindness and everyone building themselves up. I don't want any, I don't like hate. I don't like nothing like that. I just want, I don't know. I just want everyone to be doing them.
Yeah.
The internet's too complicated.
And how
Like, if you want to watch me, whatever.
and what are you going to be doing for yourself? Are you going to enter the podcast game? Are you going to do a bunch of vlogging like
Okay, so when I move out there, I do plan on starting my own channel. I don't know the name or I have a bunch of ideas and premises and I have different communications with people. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start, I'm gonna try to at least do vlogs to just show my week as a thick boy intern. I'd
yeah.
like to do that. I have an idea for like some stuff that I want to do of like George Learns, like because there's a lot of stuff that I've never done in my life. Like
Yeah.
this podcasting stuff is the first time I got to be on an airplane. Like I don't even know how to ride a bicycle. I gotta learn how to ride a bicycle, something, skateboard, something,
Yeah.
jujitsu, anything. God damn it! But there's a lot of stuff like that, and then I probably would want to start my own podcast, but I gotta really think well on that. I don't want to just hop in willy nilly. I need it to be something secure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like your idea, a vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened?
Nothing.
No, I have no rhyme or reason to anything I do on this podcast. It's kind of just like a hobby for me, and I get to talk to people that are cool. Like it's crazy that I got to talk to you and seeing your story go along, and then there's no rhyme or reason for me. I just kind of like talking to people. And
Hell yeah.
people always tell me like, no, you need a vision. I was like, I think I do, but I just don't have time to. This is not my main thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean? Like,
feel you.
yeah. And do you want to the? This is what I was gonna say. You saying that I want to do George Learns, like that's exactly how I think. Like that's exactly like a little bit of my story and why I want to watch you do it, because I can relate to that. I didn't learn a lot of stuff till I got older. No one showed me how to do the basic man stuff. Like my dad sucked at it, you know. And it'd be cool to see all that. And it would show everybody that anybody could learn, you know?
Hell yeah. I really do feel like a representative of just any podcast fan. Like I feel like I've gotten a golden ticket out of a chocolate bar.
Yeah. Nah, man, you I wouldn't discredit yourself. You work hard. You had to work hard to lose all that weight. You still work hard from just hearing you talk about what you're doing. Like, it's not a golden ticket. Like, you're meant for this, man.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate it, my friend. I really do.
And but I just want to thank you for coming on, George. I appreciate you. You have always been positive every time I message you. You always like I'm just some dude in Los Baños, California, that you reached out to me saying that you wanted to do this with me. That means the world to me. Like, it's just that little stuff, like, it's awesome. And I really hope that you're able to come down to LB. I'll have she'll be mad at me because I'm saying she could hear me, but I'll have my wife cook for you or something, or we'll go get barbecue or whatever, and then we'll go train at the gym and yeah, make it a day.
Oh yeah, I love it. And then we're gonna do this podcast live. We're not
Yeah.
gonna do it over Zoom.
Yes, yeah, hell yeah, yeah. And you can see how crazy I am with having a podcast studio in my living room.
I love it.
Like, you have no idea. My daughter's friends walk in the front door and they're just like, "What the hell?" Like,
Like, is your dad a rapper? What's going on?
yeah, hell yeah, man. Thank you guys. Where can people find you? Like, what do you want people to funnel to on the internet and social media?
For now, just go to my Instagram at George Harris 48, all lowercase. That is where I use mostly. If anyone has any questions about weight loss or anything, I'll make the time and message you, or just anything in life. If you're feeling down, I try really hard to at least read every message that I get. It gets harder the more and more people that start following me, but I still have love for everybody. I really do.
Yeah. And if you could say one last thing to anybody going through hard times or thinking about going all in on something and going after the passions, what would you tell them?
I would say that I want you to have the same confidence that I have at every turn. Because even when in my weakest moments, that I feel down, I really do. I have mental health issues. I fight every day. But if you have the blind confidence to put forth all of your humanly possible, all your energy towards it, I really think you can achieve anything. I really do.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes, man. It just takes a positive attitude and hard work.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, George, for doing this. Appreciate you guys that are listening. Go follow George and his journey. And George, please, I'm telling you now, like, this is coming from me. Don't give up, man, because your story's awesome. I tell my daughter, I tell my wife, there's this kid that just lost a bunch of weight and he's doing all these crazy things. Like, he's going to LA. He went to the shows, and it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see somebody do that. And you're probably going to get a lot busier now, but don't give up, man. I really want to see you succeed.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Have a good day, guys. Peace. And that was George Harris, guys. I thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, thank you guys for listening. His life is about to change completely. If you listen to him, like, he's like on the verge of just changing his life forever. Right. And this is exactly why I started this podcast, because you have to take risks. He's taking a risk by packing everything up and moving to LA. Right. It's not an easy thing to do, to leave stuff behind and to leave people behind. And it's risks. If you want to break those chains of past family chains, or if you want to break the chains of your neighborhood, or if you being stuck, you have to take risks. You have to. And it's not about succeeding or failing. The journey keeps on going if you just keep on trying, right? You just keep on walking. And I love it. I love it. And I'm glad I got to meet this guy, right? I'm glad that I reached out to him when I did. And it's cool to see him, progress in his life. He's 22, and I think I said it on the interview that at that same age, that's when I figured out, like, I want to do something. I want to be better. I want to do better. I started to be selfish, because once you're selfish, that's when you can start helping people out. You have to be selfish and make yourself better in order to help people out. And it's at that age, I've told my wife this story before. I think I said it on the podcast, but I was with this girl that I was having fun with, and we were always having fun. We were the same personalities, same interests, and we would just basically drink, smoke, go work at Starbucks, come home, do the same thing over and over again, right? And it was fun. Go to concerts, and I was having a blast. And then one day, we go to the beach, and we smoke, we hang out, and we drive home. And as we're driving home, I'm taking Highway 1 or Freeway 1 or whatever you call it. And I'm just thinking to myself, I was like, this is the best it gets. Like, on that way, we went to Santa Cruz, and I'm driving home, and I'm thinking, this is the best it gets. It doesn't get better than this. If I stay with this girl, it doesn't get better than this. It's pretty fun, but it doesn't get better than this. And on that drive home, I just said, I'm done, right? I didn't want to be with her anymore. It's kind of crazy. And ever since then, I just wanted to progress. I wanted to get better. And the crazy part about that is I'm making that choice to be better. Now in my 30s, I see people that I grew up with, that I played youth baseball with, and Eastside, San Jose, or football, and EYC. It's a football. It's like a Pop Warner football league. And I see these people I grew up with, and they're not doing so hot, right? They're not doing so good. And I always wonder, like, if it. Well, you guys, we're back. A little little pause. I just got a knock on the door, and we got flowers delivered from Los Baños Flower Shop here in Los Baños, California. The flowers are not for me, but I thought I'd plug my buddies, the Areca family. They own the shop here in town. And look at these beautiful flowers. This was the non-paid advertisement. No.
Can we put our address after?
Oh, snap. I'm bleeping out the address. But here you go. Yeah. You guys don't know, but we do this podcast from our living room. And but yeah, the Areca family, I love those guys. I completely forgot what I was saying. But I think I was talking about how I just jumped ship from a girl, and I ended up just continually wanting to do better. And then I see friends that are not doing so hot. Like I don't know what maybe when you become 30, and if you're still going after, if you're still grinding, then there's people that have fallen off. I don't know if it's because of where I grew up or whatever, but people are starting to give up, and you can't fucking give up no matter where you are, right? I've seen, speaking about not giving up, my buddy EJ Areca, he was on the podcast. The man was addicted to pharmaceutical drugs and was down in his luck and recovered and got sober, and now he's doing incredible, has a beautiful family, super healthy. Like, it's just, the man changed his life. You can't give up. You can't just say fuck it and just sit in your own like depression, your own just you can't sulk. You can't feel bad for yourself. You just got to keep moving, right? And it's, I don't always want to be motivational. This is like, it comes off like super, like, to me, I don't know. Like, I hate when I do this. Like, I hate when I talk like this. It's just, when I was driving at FedEx, when I drove at FedEx, I wanted to be better. I wanted to do better, right? And I wanted to fight. Like, I quit FedEx to pursue martial arts, and it was podcasts, it was voices, it was people in my ear telling me, not schizophrenic, but listening to podcasts. Those are the voices that I'm talking about. Listening to podcasts and listening to audibles and people saying, like, you just got to take risks. You got to do these things, and hearing people's stories of how they took risks and how it turned out good for them, even though they failed a bunch of times. They just didn't give up. Like, that's what I needed. I needed that push. So if you're listening and you're this close from going after your passion, I'm telling you, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but you can do it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not telling you that it gets better, but I could tell you one thing: those stresses that you have from working a 9 to 5 and those stresses that you have at home, and they don't change. They're there no matter what. Working a 9 to 5, going after your passion and trying to figure that out, those stresses are always there. Like, I still got to work on my marriage. Like, I still have to I still have to put my head down and grind and work on my marriage. And I'm not even saying my marriage is bad. I love my marriage. I love the marriage that I'm in, but I have to constantly work at it. Our bills, like, they're not stresses, but they're not gone. I still have to make money. I still have to have good finances, but I figure out a way. Like, with all this, I figure out a way. I figure out how to do shit. Like, I tell myself I can accomplish this. I could do it. And it all stems from taking a risk and going after fighting and going after martial arts. I found out I'm capable of doing a lot more than I think I can. And I think everybody's like that. Now I'm moving on to this coaching thing. I'm helping out the gym, and I can't stress this enough. I take my job seriously. This coaching these kids and helping them become good martial artists and showing them Muay Thai and showing them like what this can do for them. I take it seriously. It's not just I'm not just like, I'm not thinking I'm just going in there and I'm babysitting. Like, I'm trying to change these kids' outlook on martial arts and life and really trying to help them. And sometimes I think I overdo it. Sometimes I think I put too much effort into it. Like, should I put in effort? But I really want to be good at this. I really want to be good at coaching these kids. I really want to, like, I have Nashi fighting. Nashi's an MMA fighter. She's fighting May 7th. And I really want to be good at this. I really want to help somebody succeed. I love helping people. And I understand, I'm starting to understand the position that I'm in in this area. Like, there's not that many martial arts schools around us. And I'm put in a position to show martial arts, to teach people what I know, what I've learned. And I don't take that for granted. I really want to do good at it. Like, I've been around bad coaches. I've been into bad gyms. I've been to gyms where they take your money and you're just swinging at each other and hitting each other hard, and you're not really learning anything, right? And I want to be better than that. And self-doubt always hits my head. Like, are you even doing good? Like, doubt always hits my head. And it's a continuous thing of self-doubt, and then I pick myself up again. And partly because of my wife, because of some of the students, and because of my head coach, Coach Amber, of them picking me up and saying, hey, you're worthy of this. You could do this. And it's like a roller coaster. It's like, you can do this. You can do this. What do you, like, self-doubt hits again. Then you could do this. You could do this. And it's just like, I don't take this for granted. I am very passionate about this. I am grateful, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed in the position that I'm in. I'm just blessed overall. I think George's story really made me look back of the risk I took, of the journey I've been on. And it made me grateful. And it makes me happy for him, right? It makes me happy for him that he's doing what he loves. And I think there's no structure or rhyme or reason to the podcast, but I think that's the one thing I keep on pushing is to go after your passions. Never give up. It's simple as that. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys don't give up. I hope one person from this fucking podcast that's listening, one person says, you know what? I'm going to go after what I wanted to do in life. You know, I hope one person does it, because it's worth it, guys. It's definitely worth it. I can tell you one thing. When I was working at FedEx, doing all that, putting in all those hours, not once did I end my day and said, man, this is worth it. Not once did I deliver a package and say, my job is making me the happiest man alive, and this is worth it. For some people, it does. For some people, they're comfortable with the 9 to 5, but not once did I feel like that. But when I walk into the gym and I talk to these people at Strike, here in Los Banos, California. No, but when I talk to these people at Strike, like, there's countless hours I put into this. Like, I just got back from a meeting with Coach Amber about the kids class and about what we're doing. Like, there's hours that people don't see that everybody that's part of this gym puts in, and it's all worth it. It's all worth it. It's all worth it. I come home sometimes stressed, sometimes like trying to figure shit out, but I come home happy. I come home, I can't wait for the next day. Right? I love my job. I love what I do. I don't take it for granted, and I am very, very blessed. You guys, I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Subscribe, all that stuff. Also, if you are from Los Banos, I do personals on Sundays, $35 a session. And I do private family classes on Sundays. And then my wife has a business called Raquel Diaz Designs. She does custom shirts, custom logos, custom everything that you could think of. But go check her out on Instagram, Raquel Diaz Designs. I think that's pretty much it. Subscribe, guys. Keep on listening. Listen to the past episodes. Tell me how I'm doing. And George, again, Thank you, bud. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Never give up. Peace.